All right.
Hi everyone, this is AY Tidy. Welcome to this week and also this year's AY Tidy's midweek Panados. This is the first episode for this year. We went on break in December and we are back. So we are glad, and I would like to encourage our participants who are already here to you can actually share the link that I gave you, and you can tell your friends on Facebook that you are live now, so that people can actually start watching.
All right.
Usually, we wait for a few
All right.
seconds for a few people to come in, so that we don't start without people. So once again, we are glad to be here. We already have two of our guests. We're just waiting for one more person who is getting connected. After that, I will introduce them. Um, but for a reminder, this is midweek panados that we do every Wednesday. And here, what we do is we talk about issues generally, issues whether related to our faith, or we use critical thinking to think about, the issues. We do truth inquiry. We're searching for truth, actually. We think out of the box also. We want to encourage thinking out of the box. Conventional thinking is good. We are not throwing it away, but it's important for our people to think about, to be innovative, to be, in fact, to be disruptive in their thinking. That is very important. We also think globally. So as we discuss local issues, we think from a global perspective because, of course, the world is a global village, and though the context may be different, but things are generally the same. And so today we have a very, very interesting topic that we are focusing on, and we have guests that will be talking about this issue, and we'll be talking about politics in Nigeria, but specifically we are going to narrow it to the gubernatorial election in Gombe State. That is going to be our focus. There's going to be election in Nigeria. Our focus will be on the election, but specifically the gubernatorial election in Gombe State. So this is what we'll be focusing on, and we want to be connected to our people in Gombe South. The focus here is also limited to Gombe South. What should the people in Gombe South do in terms of voting, in terms of looking at the different candidates? So I want to start by apologizing to people who belong to other parties that are not represented here. At least I saw one comment when I posted the poster, someone saying he will not attend because his party is not represented. Um, I'm not partisan. Actually, people who know me know that I'm not partisan, even though I have my own candidate. I have my own biases in terms of choice of candidate. But the issue is that you cannot interview too many people at the same time. So what we did
I can
was
see
the
others, but
top
I can.
three
They cannot see me.
candidates, that people that we think are the top three candidates in the state, belonging to the parties of APC, NNPP, and PDP. That is our thinking. And so it's not that we don't recognize other parties, but it's that you cannot interview everybody at the same time. That is my focus. So apologies to those who think that their parties are not represented. That is the reason. For those of you who are joining, thank you so much. Please share the video, share the broadcast so that others can see and join. Please, I request you. And tell us where you are joining from. I can see our brother Jonathan Philip, Abila Ila, Florence, Inganti, and many others. Please tell us where you're joining from. This is very important for us. Though I know many people who are in other parts of the world usually don't tell us where they're joining from, but they tell me after the program. So people who watch this from different countries, actually. But the focus is our people in Gombe. So we will be discussing the issue of voting for governorship in Gombe State as it affects Gombe South. So we are people of Gombe South. And we have three representatives of the three top candidates in Gombe State. And I'm going to have them introduce themselves. We're going to have them introduce themselves so that we will continue. The The other guy is here, but it's not yet connected. So we'll have him connected. I'm going to give some guiding rules. Rules are very important in everything that we do. Some guiding rules. So the point is this. This is a discussion among brothers. I want you to look at this as discussion among brothers. And the goal is helping our people make informed choice for the state governorship position in the forthcoming election. That is the goal. People to make informed choice. So these rules are as follows. Number one, your main goal as a participant, your main goal should be to present, to introduce, and to market your party candidate in such a way to convince your viewers to vote for him. That's all. You are marketing your candidate. You are representing your candidate. Number two, you must ensure that whatever you say about your party candidate is true. So, to the best of your knowledge, make sure that what you're saying is true. Do not spread misinformation, please. That is my request. Don't spread misinformation. Number three, we encourage and expect a civil and matured interaction among the participants. Please be kind and be tolerant towards each other. Number four, there shall be no personal attacks whatsoever, no personal attacks of other speakers or their party candidate, please. I will have zero tolerance for any kind of attack. We are brothers here. We are just trying to help our people make informed decisions in politics. So, please take note of that. Number five, only one person will be allowed to speak at a time. Please, no interruptions. When somebody is talking, don't interrupt. If you have something to say about it, wait. When the person is done, you can make reference to that. Please, I request that. Number six, in the event of a repeated violation of these rules, the host, that is myself, will mute the offender. I don't want to get to that. I can meet you, but I don't think that will happen because these are matured minds here. Number seven, we will not be talking about any other elections but the gubernatorial election. Please stick to the subject matter. So we're not talking about presidential election or whatever, or House of Assembly or national assembly, just governorship election. And the last one, please make the discussion interesting, democratic, so the viewers can enjoy it. So that is how we want it to be. So these are the guiding rules in the House, and I believe these are going to be helpful. So we have all the three representatives here. Once again, those of you that are joining, thank you so much. I appreciate this is our first broadcast for this year, and I'm glad that you are able to join. Please share the live stream so that others can see and join. I know that there are people who say they will watch later, and usually people do that, but share the video so that many more people can watch. This is very helpful for our people in Gombe South and also in Gombe generally. So we're going to start, and the first thing I would want to do is to have our guests introduce themselves. Tell us your name, your political party, and your relevance in that political party. So your name, your political party, and your relevance in that political party, in brief. We want to start with someone who is more of our uncle, an elder among us, Mr. Umar Kaltingo. I will want you to introduce yourself in full. Tell us your full name, your political party that you represent, and your candidate, just his name. Don't say anything about your candidate. And then how relevant you are in your party. Over to you, sir.
Okay. All right. My name is Umar Usman Kaltungu. I'm a broadcast professional. I'm a broadcast consultant. I do setups for new TVs and radio stations across the country. And I train budding journalists in this broadcast profession. Now, I am an APC member, a card-carrying APC member from Kaltungu local government, in Kalaring, actually. And also, I am a board member, governing board member of Gombe Media Corporation. Thanks to Alaji Ino Yahaya, who has given me that appointment. And I am also a member of Gubernatorial Campaign Council Subcommittee on Research and Content Development. So I am, as far as I'm concerned, I'm very important in APC in Gombe State. And I noticed that my very close friend and brother Ben 10 is there. It's nice to see you, Ben 10.
Yes, thank you. And actually, we are moving to him. So, brother Ben, please, could you introduce yourself and your party and your relevance in the party? Ben, are you with us?
Maybe I'm scaring Ben off because I am very powerful.
Is frozen. So let's go to Ilham Matiga.
I'm a professional talker, so I think that Ben is
Ben also is a talker.
I talk for a living, bro. I am a broadcaster. I talk for a living. So
yeah.
But it's nice to see Ben, and it's nice to actually interact with him at that level. Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes. So the two of them are sharing the same network. So I think they're having network problem there. So
definitely right here you can see that I'm using a phone light, somebody's phone. I had to borrow somebody's phone to light so that people will see my face. Otherwise, there is no light here.
Thank you for doing that. I think this is part of what we'll discuss. You see, that is from your APC government. They are not giving us light.
It is actually a fundamental problem that Nigeria has had over the years. Remember that Nigeria lost it 50 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So don't blame APC. You should blame the whole of Nigeria.
Yeah,
because this failure started over 50 years ago.
Okay. So as we wait for them, we'll go to the next question actually. As we wait for them so that you can start on the next question. They will be back. So the next question is tell us about your party's candidate. And this is his personality at this point. Who is this person? What is his name? His family, his tribe, his childhood, where did he grow? What is his education? What is his private life? His life outside politics, before he joined politics? What do you know about him? So can you tell us what we need to know about him?
So can I go on now?
Yes.
Sorry, can I start?
Yes, please start.
Because if I start now, my own description could be endless.
No, I will.
Now, my candidate. Hold on. Yes. My candidate actually is a governor, the incumbent governor in Yahaya, and he's a Gombe-born individual. Has been a businessman for a very long time. He's an accountant by training. He has been a commissioner of finance for over 7 years during Goji administration, and now he's the one that is on the seat, and he's going for his second term. And then part of the reasons why I think that people should go and vote for him for second term is because he has actually
We'll come to that.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, just tell us who he is. Yes,
he's an accountant. He was born and brought up in Gombe.
Okay,
he's an accountant by training. He has been a businessman, and his wives are highly educated. His children are also highly educated. So he has he doesn't cut punches. He doesn't pull punches as far as education is concerned. He is a highly educated person, and he loves education, and that is why he has created and concentrated a lot of energy on the educational sector in my state, and that is why he needs to come and continue.
Okay. Viewers, once again, thank you so much for joining us today. We are discussing this very important issue of Gombe State gubernatorial election coming up this year. The question is, what is the best path for Gombe South? And we have 3 guys on this platform who will be discussing this. The first person, Mr. Usman Umar Kaltingo, has just introduced himself and his candidate. He belongs to the APC. We're going to the second person, who is Mr. Benjamin Dongoma. So, Ben, are you ready for us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, please.
There's a little technical issue here. While they are fixing it, I switch to another device. So,
okay.
My name is Comrade Benjamin Dongoma Tanglang. I am from Iliri local government, Tanglang ward, to be specific. I'm Tungale by tribe. I am a consumer service expert or a customer service expert, as you may wish to call it. Uh, that's by experience and training. I am also a political scientist by training. So I am now a full-time politician. I'm a card-carrying member of the PDP. I ran for office uh, in the just concluded primaries in last year. I lost at the primaries. So I'm a full member of the party. I'm part of what you can call the stakeholders of the party. So as to my relevance to the campaign process, I'm a member of a subcommittee in the campaign council. I belong to the subcommittee on strategy and planning. So, and at the local government level, I am heading media department. That's mainstream and social media. So I also believe that I'm part and parcel of this process. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ben. Next, we'll go to our brother Amatiga. Please introduce yourself and your relevance in your party.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Good evening, viewers around the world. And I will say good evening, the great people of Tangle. I am Amatiga Yila Nabot. I am from Lamugu, Baganjanot. I am Nade by Clank because we have several major clanks in Tangle. So I am Nade by Clank. I am a graduate of geology and postgraduate student of environmental management from Bayero University, Kano, and also a card-carrying member of NNPP, that is New Nigerian People's Party, in Hausa, kayan daɗi jam'iyya mai alama ko kuma kayan marmari. And I am...
Is that party relevant at all?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Yeah,
oh, yes.
it is. Please.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Because we have the minority caucus in Gombe State House of Assembly. When you talk of the majority caucus in Gombe State House of Assembly, you talk of the APC. When you talk of the minority caucus in the House of Assembly, you talk of NNPP. So you could see we are the major opposition party in Gombe State. If you look at the Gombe State House of Assembly components, I am a House of Assembly candidate of NNPP in Iliruwe State constituency. I gave it an acronym BWSC, Iliruwe State constituency. And by the grace of God, because we believe in justice and welfare of the people, we are going to take the mantle of leadership in order to focus on the people, nothing but the people. And I always say, as a legislator to be, our primary job is representation, lawmaking, and oversight, and which by His grace, by the ideals of our party, NNPP, we are going to create a paradigm shift and change the entire narratives. The so-called major parties are going to be dismantled because we thank God for the People's Machine.
Okay. We're not
We thank
going
God for the
into
People's
that
Machine.
yet.
By His grace, by His grace. Thank you so much for the time. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm just laughing at you, Amatiga.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay because it's a nice forum. It's good to laugh. It's good to laugh.
Yeah, you're preaching our uncle over Kaltungo.
No. We're one family.
Anyway, okay. So, Mr. Amatiga, let's finish with the second question actually before we go back to Ben. Tell us about your party's gubernatorial candidate and give us his details. What is his full name? His family, his tribe, his childhood. Where did you grow up? What is his education? What is his private life? That is his life outside politics. You see, sometimes people just see everybody as if he was born as a politician, but people actually have a family and private life outside politics. We want to know this candidate as who they are, not as politicians. So introduce your candidate to us, please.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Pastor Amdele, Yerima Teddy, and thank you, my panel in the House. The governorship candidate of NNPP, New Nigerian People's Party in Gombe State, is nobody but Right Honorable Kamisu Ahmed Mailantariki. Right Honorable Kamisu Ahmed Mailantariki is a gentleman by excellence. He is Waja by tribe. He was born and brought up in Erwagana, Gombe local government. He is a businessman. He is a farmer. He is a sport mongol. He is a sport and estate developer. He is a kind and generous man. His history will be remembered through him. In 2011, he brought a new party, then known as CPC, and he won his election on that party in the House of Representatives. That is, he represented the good people of Gombe, Kwami, Unakaye in the Federal House of Representatives. That is 2011. And what I could say about him is kind and humble. He is somebody that believes in everybody, aside religious sentiment, tribal sentiment, or whatsoever, or any social status of life. He's a man that will be around. You will see different people. If you go to his house in Abuja, you will see different people from different states coming to his house. In fact, his house is a house that you will see him eating with everybody. He doesn't discriminate. So, and by the grace of God, that kind of character, that kind of moral background is what we want to showcase as we form the new government of NNPP in Gombe State. And I want to encourage our people and viewers in Gombe State that for a person single-handedly to win on a party that is new in Gombe State in 2011, by the grace of God, we are going to replicate that using the NNPP as a platform so we could form a new government in Gombe State. Remember, then it was Goje as the governor of Gombe State, the powerful Goje. And his son-in-law was the candidate of PDP then, but my governorship candidate in NNPP defeated the son-in-law of former governor of Gombe State, Goje. You could remember the powerful Goje in Gombe State. The Right Honorable Kamis Amin Melentariki defeated his son-in-law. So because the people believe in him, believe in his capacity, credibility, competency, courage, and character. So this is what I can say little about him. He is a graduate and postgraduate student of environmental management from Abuja University.
Thank you so much, Amatiga, for introducing your candidate. We'll be going to our brother Ben. He had just introduced himself, so he will request him to introduce his party candidate for the position of governor in Gombe State. Over to you, Mr. Ben.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity to introduce the candidate of our beloved party, the PDP. He is known by the name Mohammed Jibrin Barde. He's from Gombe State. From Gombe State, unlike other candidates who are said to have come from other places to settle in Gombe.
Every candidate in this division is from Gombe State. Nobody is from outside the state.
We'll come back to you, Mr. Umar Kaltingo. We'll come back to you.
Are you guilty, sir? Why are you interjecting? MJ Barde is a man of impeccable character. If you just look at him and have a discussion with him, you will know that he's a man of his words. He is a man that is truthful. He's a man that believes in equity, justice, and fairness. A little about his background. He holds a master's in risk management from New York University. He also holds an MBA from Lincoln University, I guess, if I'm not wrong. But he holds an MBA. The university's name might be wrong. He holds a postgraduate diploma in financial management, and his BSc is in economics from University of Abuja. So you can see that he's well read as when it comes to the issue of education. You give it to him that he ranks higher than every other candidate that we have running for the governorship of Gombe State. To talk about what he has done in his career, he's an accomplished banker. He rose to the peak of his career, retired as an MD of SunTrust Bank. Before then, he was with Union Bank, he was with Barclays Bank in different countries, like 5 countries across Africa. So you can see that he's a man with vast experience. He's a man with so much exposure. He's a man that has dealt with different kinds of people. He understands what it means to live in a multicultural society. So that kind of background is one of the things that we see as positive in MJ Barde that is going to be brought to bear when he becomes the governor of Gombe State in the coming months. So MJ Barde is somebody that always speaks the truth. He never promises what he knows he cannot accomplish. Even during the campaigns or when you have private discussions with him, he's somebody that goes straight to the point and tells you, this is the kind of person I am, this is the kind of government I want to run, this is the kind of administration I want to run in Gombe State. So when you have this kind of person running for office, it gives you the understanding that this person is not really coming for money, is not coming for power, but is coming to help the state, to develop the state in a way that will be enviable, in the country. He has vast experience, like I mentioned, in management, and he feels bringing that to governance is going to do well to Gombe State. So that is who MJ Barde is in brief.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ben, and thank you all our guests, viewers. Once again, welcome to this week's and this year's first AY Tadis Midweek Panados. Thank you for your patience as we were on break for about a month, beginning in Christmas last year. And today, I'm going to mention it again. Our discussion is we're looking at the Gombe State Gubernatorial election. What is the best path for Gombe South? So the crux of the issue is, what is the best path for Gombe South in terms of electing for governor? And I want to mention this. One of the reasons why I came up with this is because there are many people who have sent me messages saying, I don't have problem about choosing whom to vote for president. I don't have problem deciding whom to choose for National House of Assembly, whether it is Senate or House of Reps. And I have less problem with deciding whom to vote for House of Assembly. For most people, their problem is who should be the governor of Gombe State. From my experience, most people who are asking questions, they're asking this question: whom do we vote? And that is why we are focusing on this. In terms of our people from Gombe South, what is the best part? What is it that will benefit us? Which of these 3 candidates will actually be the best choice for us? Because politics is a game of interest. So our interest matters a lot. So we have 3 guests. We have our uncle, Mr. Usman Omar Kaltungo, representing the APC. We have our brother, Benjamin Dongoma, representing PDP. And we have our brother, Ela Amatiga, representing the NNPP. So we are going to the 3rd question now. And the 3rd question is, we want each one of you to give us 3 reasons why you think your candidate is the best option for Gombe State governorship in the context of our people in Gombe South. So give us 3 reasons why you think your candidate is the best. Let's go back to our brother and uncle, Mr. Omar Usman Kaltungo. Give us 3 reasons, please. You have 3 minutes to give us the 3 reasons. So 1 minute per point. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, Reverend Tadi. And I also want to appreciate the presence of my very close friend, Benjamin Nguma, and of course Amachiga Ila. Now, these 3 minutes that you allocated to project 3 reasons for us to actually vote for my candidate, I don't think the 3 minutes is enough, because what my candidate
you're already eating up the time. You're already eating up the time, so better start.
what he has already done, what he
Yeah.
has already done
Yeah.
for us in Gombe South, since you are talking about Gombe South, what he
Yes.
has already done for us in Gombe South is uncountable. I will start from my own personal locality in Kalaring, the
Yeah.
primary health care in Kalaring, he has taken care of. The Lekanje GSS Kaltungo, that has been dead for years and ages, has been upgraded to a mega school. And as a matter of fact, he just signed a contract for road constructions within the school. And then look at, there is no government in Gombe State that has spent up to 2 billion naira to do any particular project in Kaltungo. I'm talking about Kaltungo alone. Oh. Now we have a specialist hospital in Kaltungo. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not talking about Billiri, the Tangland where Benjamin is coming from. I'm not talking about the Shongom where we already have a dam process in process. I'm not talking about. And then look at the recent payment of pensions and gratuities that has been there for almost a decade. This man is just paid now. He just paid yesterday or so. And if you look at in terms of even staff promotion, people have been complaining before. This man has done it. Please tell me, apart from the 11,100 roads that this man is doing across the Gombe South, connecting Dadia, you know, all those places, bros, you don't need to look further. You need a doer, not a promiser. People can make promises and they can, of course, break promises, but we need someone who is actually active, who is actually actively doing it. You don't need
Did you lose him? Hello, are you with us? Okay, I think his network is I think he's having problem with his network. We're not gonna wait. Let me see. We'll move to Amatiga. Are you with us? Ben, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Amatiga, are you with us? Amatiga is also frozen. Okay. So yeah. So I believe they will come back. So because of the internet issue, which is part of the reason why we need good leadership in Nigeria, so that we'll not be having these problems, these internet problems. Though you can have internet problems even here in the US, but it's not as bad. So we because of the nature of the challenges we were having with the network, we'll just use whoever is available. So we'll go to you, Ben. Give us 3 reasons why you think your party candidate is the best option for us in Gombe State, but particularly in Gombe South. 3 reasons. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'll go straight to the point. I think one thing we should be looking at when deciding on who to vote for or who we should support in terms of leadership at the state level, I think one of the things we should be looking at is who is that person that is ready to protect our interest as a people. And I think MJ Berde possesses these qualities. Like I said in introduction, he is somebody who believes in equity, fairness and justice. What you need in leadership generally is fairness. If you can have a leader who is going to be fair to all, not minding your tribe, not minding your religion, give you what is due to you, give you what you deserve, I think this is one of the things that we should look out for in any leader. And I bet you that Mohammed Jibrin Berde has this, and that has been his watchword. Anytime you speak with him, anytime he tells you things he wants to do, he emphasizes on the issue of fairness. He even told us once that, see, that we're going to see this in his first appointment, that if you deserve a position and you're good at that, you deserve this position wherever you come from. So long as you're from Gombe State, it's going to give you that position. And I believe one of the problems we're having from Gombe South is how we are being shortchanged when it comes to issue of appointment. You see people who deserve to be appointed as whatever at the state level, they are not given that opportunity because of where they are coming from. So if we can have somebody who will look at these things as they are, in their merit, I think we should. It's one of the reasons I think we should go for MJ Berde. Another thing is the issue of our traditional council. There's one thing he mentioned in one of his. Okay, let me even say this. MJ Berde is, I think, the only. I don't know if there's any that has a document, a booklet that contains all that he sets out to do when he becomes governor. So he has a policy document, not just coming to talk about what you want to do, telling people stories. He has a policy document. And this policy document is meant to serve as a guide to the electorate, to the citizens of Gombe State, so that after electing him into office, you have something to use to hold him accountable. You have these 2 points that you promised to do this, you promised to do that, but you've not done it. So I think it is something that we should applaud. Then second reason is his promise to restore the dignity of the monarchy, that's the traditional council in Gombe State. He promised that he's going to give them their autonomy, he's going to restore back the independence of the traditional councils we have, which is one of the major issues that we have in Gombe South. The interference of the present administration into traditions, into who becomes a traditional ruler, into who becomes your king, your mai, or whatever. So MJ Barre has made it clear that he is not going to interfere with that. And he is determined to restore their dignity. What do we mean by restoring their dignity? When you have a governor that or a leader that sits down or looks at your leaders, your kings, and threaten them and call them names and tell them that if they play with him, he's going to get them out of office. If you don't do what I say, I'm going to dethrone you. That is not how to treat traditional rulers. So MJ Barde is coming with a ready solution to this particular problem, which I believe is very key to Gombe Southerners. So this is my second reason. The third reason why I think MJ Barde should be supported is the fact that he is coming with a priority for Gombe South, one of which is the regional water project of Gombe State, which is Gombe South Water Project. He highlighted the fact that Gombe State Water Project was done. The Dadinkoa Water Project was at least the Gombe water, but the southern part of Gombe do not have water, but they have the potential to have enough and good drinking water. So that is one of the things that he has set out to do, that immediately he gets into office, he's going to activate that plan, because it is something that is on ground. But these other governors just come, they look at it and they ignore it. So he's going to revisit it, and is one of his priorities. He's going to set out the regional water projects, and we're going to have Gombe South water plan that is going to supply the whole of Gombe South with good and potable drinking water, which is one of the basic needs of humans. So, but if you want me to add another thing, is the issue of security. He also mentioned that security is going to be one of the key things he's going to look at. When we, if you check out what is happening now in Gombe South, Kidnappings in Gombe State is happening mostly in Gombe South. Let's tell ourselves the truth. The rate of kidnappings that is taking place in Gombe State generally, I think 80%, about 80% of it happens in Gombe South. Why is it so? Because the government of the day does not care about the lives of Gombe Southerners. The government of the day does not care about whatever plight the people of Gombe South are going through. So they concentrate on other things. They don't concentrate on the security of lives and property, especially of the people of Gombe South. So Mohammed Jibrin Barde has stated at different occasions that the issue of security is going to be his priority, especially that of Gombe South, because he has noticed how the issue of kidnappings and robbery, armed robbery, and all these things have risen to an uncontrollable level. So he's coming with a plan, and I'm sure he's going to nip it in the bud by the time he gets there. So these are just few reasons that I am going to give you as to why I think we should support MJ Birthday. But of course, like I said, there's a policy document. There are points here that if you want, I can share or read from so that our viewers will get to know. But I promise that since this program is just for an hour, maybe I'll be sharing some of them bit by bit on my Facebook page so that more people will get to see them. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ben, for enumerating and explaining those 3 or even 4 different areas that your candidate want to focus on, from the issue of equality and equity to the issue of developing Gombe South, especially water projects, to even the issue of security and the rest of them. So thank you for that. So it's one thing. There is nothing actually about politicians telling us what they will do. That is what they do. They tell us what they will do. But the question always is, how do we know that this person is going to do exactly what he said? Or at least to a large extent, he will cover most of what he promised the people to do. You partly answered this question by saying that there is a policy document, which is like a manifesto or whatever it is. Again, we know that manifestos are written by experts and technocrats. Sometimes the candidate does not even know the details of the manifesto. Sometimes they do. It depends on the person. But I want us to tell us one thing. Yes, so MJ Bardewa promises to do all these things, especially for us in Gombe South. How do we know that this is actually going to happen? What assurances do we have that he's going to do this? That is the question that I believe viewers will be asking. Yes, he can say all these things, but what are the assurances that he's going to do this? What is it about, whether about himself, his life as a promise keeper, or about something very specific about your party or whatever that will make us believe that he will definitely do some of these things? Can you respond to that, please?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Reverend. Of course, like you have said, it is often very difficult to believe what politicians say because of the fact that so many of them have made promises and did not keep to them. MJ Birthday, I think in the last 15 years or so that I've been following politics closely, working with politicians, I think this is the very first time that I actually came close to meeting somebody that I see as very principled politician. You see, MJ Birthday, let me tell you something little about him. He's a promise keeper. This is something that we know from shared experiences, people who have had one thing or the other to do with him at different levels or different endeavors of his life. People who worked with him while he was in the bank, people who worked with him while he was part of some boards of the federal government, people who live around where he lives within his own environment. They say this about him. He's somebody who is very firm. He's somebody who is truthful. He doesn't tell you what he cannot do. One good example I will give you is how he goes about his campaigns. MJ Birthday, a lot of people have been coming to meet him to say, okay, they want to support him. They want him to promise them that he'll give them this position or he's going to do this to them. And he kept telling them, no, I don't want to promise something that after getting to office, I cannot have control over. This is because, appointments sometimes are influenced by certain factors, and he's aware of those factors. So he will not come and tell you that, okay, he's going to give you a commissioner of finance just because he wants you to support him, and tomorrow you come back crying that this person fooled you or deceived you. He did not give you this. So I think this is one of the things that we should be looking out for in politicians. He doesn't make unnecessary promises. He says things that he's sure of. And in this policy document I'm talking about, there are categories of things that he said will be done in the first 100 days in office. This will tell you that he has identified what can be done within short term and what can be done within a very long time. So he has categorized these promises or the programs into short and long term. And this is one of the things that politicians hardly do. Mind you, he's a technocrat. He's somebody who came from the private sector. And of course, you know how people from the private sector are. They are strict with their policies.
Okay, Ben, can you hear us? Ben, are you with us? Okay, let's go to Amatiga. Amatiga, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, please let's talk about your candidate. Give us three major reasons why you think your candidate is the best option for us, particularly in Gombe South. Why do you want the people in Gombe South to vote for your candidate?
So much.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sorry for the hiccups. My system had a problem. Yeah. Three reasons quickly why Gombe State citizens should vote for Right Honorable Kamiso Amembele Turkey. One, he's a young man. He has the agility to listen, and he has empathy. He believes in our diversity as Gombe State citizens. Secondly, he's somebody that has international collaborations, whereby he has been transforming our young minds in sport, in the world of sport, especially football. In Gombe State, there are many young minds that are playing in Europe, and this is one of the credible components of him as a candidate of NNPP, that when voted into power as governor of Gombe State, is going to transform the life of our young minds into the world of sports, especially football and other sports. And the third is a man that has understanding of the people, because democracy is all about the people. So as a governor of Gombe State, everybody will be in board, everybody will be respected, irrespective of tribe or religion. I remember my governorship candidate saying that everybody is going to be considered in terms of contracts. You know, sometimes in governments, only few people knows about how contracts of government is going on. So by the grace of God, Right Honorable Kamiso Amembele Turkey is going to spread his tentacles in good governance, whereby every citizen of Gombe State will feel the impact of democracy, because as I said earlier, democracy is all about the people. So I want to say is young mind, is agility, international collaboration, is here to listen to the people, because whatever you want to do, whatever kind of policy any government is having in mind, it has to do with the people. So we are people-focused representation. It's somebody that people-focused representation in his mind, and it's somebody that is ready to transform, liberate, emancipate, and bring better the entirety of Gombe State. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ila Amatiga. So we have heard from all the three representatives of the three parties, the APC, the NNPP, and the PDP, telling us, giving us three reasons why we should vote for their candidate. Ila Matiga, I want to do a follow-up question actually before I go to the next thing, which is the question I asked our brother Ben. All these things you're saying, of course, any politician can say this. Part of our concern is the fact that politicians can say all these nice things, succulent messages that will make us, think that this is the best ever. But the issue is, why should we believe him? What are the reasons why we should believe that this guy is going to do what he promised, what he said that he will do? Do you have anything to give us any kind of assurance that if he becomes governor, he will do these things? Are you with us? Okay, it seems he's having some network problems. So I understand this is winter, which in Nigeria like Hamatan. That may sometimes be part of the problem. So I'm losing the two of them. Before they come back, there is a comment here which I would like to read to us viewers. Whatever comment is there, I will just read. Let me see. So the first comment is from Peter Ila Hassan, and he says, let me read that. To Adadi Umar, he's referring to Umar Kaltingo. Do you really want us to be carried away by present things happening by your candidate, especially payment of pension and others? Do you think that the past of your candidate have informed the present and the present informed the future? I think that we should not be carried away by selfish interests, but let's focus on who will help us accurately. Okay, this is by our brother Peter Elias, and thank you so much for your comment. Unfortunately, we lost our uncle Umar Kaltingo. I also had actually questions for him, but he's not here. So the question our brother is asking is like what the governor is doing now. So the candidate for the APC is the incumbent governor. What he's doing now, he's doing it so that people can vote him. So the question is, why did he have to wait, keep retirees waiting for 4 years, almost 4 years, until election before paying them? It's like he's paying them so that people will be happy, the pensioners and their children and relatives will say, okay, this is a good governor. And then he's voted. Then after that, he will forget about us for another 4 years. That is the argument our brother is making. And I think it's a legitimate concern. I think that it's a powerful argument. I wish that our brother is here to respond to this. Another thing connected to this was the question I was going to ask. I just spoke to him. He's trying to come in, but he's still having network problem. Another thing that maybe some of our viewers are thinking about, which is exactly what I'm thinking about, is he mentioned some of the projects that the governor did in Gombe South. He concentrated in Kaltingo, which is okay, it's part of Gombe South. We are happy that that is happening in Kaltingo. And the dam project that he mentioned in Shongom, I've never heard about that actually. Is that something that has been going on for some years, or is this something that was just introduced for the sake of or is this something that was just introduced for the sake of politics? That will be a question that that I would raise for him. If there is a dam project in Shongom, when was it introduced? How sure are we that that project is going to actually happen? Is it just a way to lure us into voting him? That will be a question. Another question that I would ask him is the issue of Billiri and Balanga. I don't know how many projects the government had done in Billiri and in Balanga. When I'm talking about Gombe South, it's these 4 local governments, and what is good for the goose is good for the gander. They say that. So what has he done, particularly in Balanga? What has he done, particularly in Billiri, that will make us the remaining part of the South to vote for him? So we would want answers to those questions so that people can make informed decisions about choosing their candidate. Unfortunately, is not here. One other question I would have for him, I will mention at the end, because I believe many people who are watching may have also that question. So let me see. We have another comment here from Janet Madison from Abuja. Unbiased governance is very important for peaceful coexistence. She was responding actually to what our brother Ben was saying about his candidate. So let me see. Amatiga, I can see you on 2 different devices. We need to use only one. Which one do you want to use?
Okay, let me use this one.
The one you are on now? Okay.
Yeah, you can see me.
Yes. So I'm going to exit this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to remove this one, leave you there, and then I'm going to add Ben here. Okay, good. So as she was reacting to what our brother Ben mentioned about being unbiased and including everybody in governance, Kristen Makama says, important point addressed by PDP representative Ben. This is Kristen from the US. Abu Omar Tina says, I suggest that our politicians that have direct contact with the gubernatorial candidate should go beyond mere sayings, but sit down with them and bargain on what exactly will be our share when it comes to distribution of appointment. I will argue not only appointment but resources, project, and whatever they will do. It's possible. If possible, should be written and signed. So something like a document that obligates them to do it. So actually, before we go to other comment, let's talk about this. I'll start with my brother Ben. Have you had a few? So you're in PDP. A few PDP members from Gombe South. I see our brother Japhet Philip is here. He's also a member of the PDP. A few sat down with MJ Barde to say, okay, we are politicians from Gombe South, or even just your local government. You are from Billy local government. The question our people are asking is that, what is in there for us? What do you have for us? Have you done that? Or do you plan to do that? Please respond to that.
Okay, thank you very much. You see, politics is not like office work where you walk into your boss's office and ask them, okay, what is on my table today? What am I expected to do? And you just have it listed and you go about doing that. There are procedures in politics. As a person now, being part of the campaign subcommittee, being part of the party, I cannot go on behalf of the people of Billy local government, for instance, or on behalf of Gombe South to sit down with the candidate to discuss about what they intend to do to us. But I believe this is a collective responsibility of our community leaders. You have ward leaders, you have district heads, you have village heads, you have people in the community who are representing the general interest of the community. These are people who understand what the needs of the communities are. I also do, but I don't have that mandate to represent anybody's interest as it were. So I believe that these people are expected to come together, not necessarily they don't have to be politicians. They don't have to be politicians. Expecting from this candidate. After highlighting this, they seek for audience with the candidate and discuss. Okay, we are inviting you to tell us what you have for us. He will narrate what he wants to do or things he has for the community. Then people will now say, okay, no, this is not what we need because it's not about what he wants to do, but about what you need in the community. So you tell him, this you want to do, it is not our priority. This is our priority. So, but after highlighting or presenting this, I think it will now be a form of in form of a social contract, and unlike how somebody is saying that it should be written, I don't think writing it is necessary, because if the person is not sincere, if you like, write it and paste it on everybody's wall. If the person does not keep promises, he will still tell you that he did not sign that document. So it is about entering into a social contract, agreeing with the person that these are the things we want, and we're going to give you our votes. In return, we're expecting this from you. So,
Okay.
but let me quickly say this. Part of the rallies we're doing now, right now, we've gone around all the local governments except Gombe local government, which was started today, and it's going to last for additional 5 days. Gombe local government. We've gone around all the local government, and we visited wards in all these local government. What our candidates do there, or the gubernatorial candidate, he tells the people what he intends to do for that particular community based on his needs assessment that he has done before going out for this rally. And at every point in time, we have one or two persons from the community who have sat down. The person has either sat down with the community, or if it is two persons representing the community, they have sat down at some level, they have decided and identified what their needs are. Then they present it during the rally. And to tell you how MJ Barde is serious about this thing, by the time you present it in form of a speech, and people would think that it is just rally, it ends there. No, he set up committees in every local government. These committees are following these words, that wherever we go to, whatever these people present as their needs, I want you to collate them, put them into a document, and present them to me in a single document, so that I have a document for the local government, including whatever the wards, the individual wards need.
Okay.
So he has done that. The community were given 3 days. Immediately they go to your local government. Today, if they leave the local government, you have 3 days from that day to submit your document. And as far as I know, all the local governments, except Nafada, that was just concluded like 3 days ago, that should have submitted their own today. So all the local governments have submitted. This is a sign of seriousness. This is how leaders should be. This person is not a regular politician that we see around, that just comes around, speak, and just leaves. He's somebody that wants to really work. He's somebody that is preparing himself. As soon as he gets into office, he wants to hit the ground running. That is why he's doing all these things, putting all these documents together, so that they will guide him as soon as he gets into office. So I believe that the people are doing it. He is the one that is even initiating it. People are presenting what they need. He's requesting for their support, and they are telling him this is what we need in return. And he has been collating these things, which are also going to form part of what he's going to start doing as soon as he gets into office. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ben, for explaining that. So the challenge with your perspective is that some of our viewers would say, well, you're into politics and you belong to PDP, and we see you as our representative, even though we didn't elect you, but as our son, you are there for us. We are now asking if you have sat down with your candidate to talk about our community, what he should do. You are shifting the load upon us, that the community needs to do that. So just for you to know, this is the way some people will think about it. If you have a rebuttal to that, you can say that later, but you don't have to worry about that. But I'm just telling this how people will think. But it's great that your candidate has these committees who come up from every local government. They come up with projects and things that they want done by the candidate. That is good, but as I always say, that is paperwork. Reality is when somebody goes into office. So we hope that whoever wins, the person will actually do what he says that he will do. Let me come to our brother.
We hope that when Ambarde wins.
Okay, yeah, from your perspective, of course, you want Ambarde to win. Yeah, but only God knows who will win. And for me here, I just hope that the best person would win. Amatiga, what have you as a member of the NNPP with other people in Gombe South, and especially in your local government, have you had the occasion to really sit down and say, we are people of Gombe South, or we are people of Bilirin, decide what our people want? Would you commit to doing this? Do you have any assurance from your candidate? Is this something that we should look forward to?
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity, and sorry for all the ECOPs, but it's all for good. My candidate, the governorship candidate of NNPP, Right Honorable Kamiso Ahmed Melentariki, is a man of the people. We have sat down, me and him, we discussed so many things that has to do with Gombe State in general, and we discussed so many things that has to do with Gombe South, Tangalewaja in bracket. And during our campaign tour in my constituency, that is Biliru West State constituency, we went around nook and cranny of Biliru West, and he made a pledge. And in some instances, he even acted. Part of his pledge that if voted into office, this is what we are going to do as a new government of NNPP. There is going to be free JAM, free NECO, free WAEC, free NAPTEP, and as an undergraduate student or a graduate first class or 2-1, you will go to any country of your choice to read your master's degree or PhD based on your grade in master's or in your first degree. So you could see the bedrock of any development is education. And my governorship candidate is somebody that has passion for education, quality education by his grace. So this is part of what we are going to do when we assume office. And the other aspect is about the issue of fertilizer. Our people are farmers. My constituency, 70% of my people are farmers. By May, everybody will get its fertilizer, according to my governorship candidate. And there will be a kind of free issue that has to do with women. The moment she's pregnant, up to the time she's going to give birth, the government will take charge, will take care of. And the issue of pension and gratuities of our parents, that some have even died, is going to settle all that. He said that. So to me, this is a paradigm shift for Gombe State citizens to focus their attention, at least to forget about the issue of APC or PDP or other parties. For me.
Okay. Yeah, so as I mentioned, these are all talks. Yes, he's saying it. We shall see. The issue is when person really get there, will he do it? And a follow-up question to what you've said. The issue of free NECO, free WAEC, free NAPTEP, free scholarship for master's degree sounds like socialism to me, which is not encouraged. All countries that we know who practice socialism, they collapse. It didn't sustain. When the government is providing free things to people, it's not a good thing. And that's why, well, I don't want to mention anything presidential candidate, but someone, a politician somewhere, has been emphasizing the issue of providing platforms, providing an enabling environment for businesses to strive and for people to grow, either in education or in their socio-economic life. So some of our viewers will think, well, it means Melanteriki wants to introduce socialism into the system, which cannot be sustained. Government has just so much money. So there's no way you can pay everybody's NECO, everybody's WAEC, everybody NAPTEP, free education, even to master's level, and then have enough money to sustain the state. So what would be your reaction to that? Are you going to introduce socialism, in Gombe State? Is that what you intend to do?
No. It's not about socialism. It's about democracy. Government of the people, for the people, and by the people. It's all about the people. The issue of going to overseas and read masters or PhD is about a kind of competency or academic performance. Okay, and not everybody can do that. Okay. Yeah, so you cannot say all Gombe State. And the issue of NECO, WAEC, and JAM, not everybody goes to school, you know that. So we want to encourage that. And in terms of education, in terms of economy, of course, small-scale business, the government of NNPP is going to empower small businesses in terms of farming, in terms of artisanship. So this one too is there. We are going to revamp the IGR, because it's somebody that has been investing in sports. So you could see, even in the area of sports, when we invest in sports, we are building the IGR, we are building the economy. Our people will now grow without any spirit of poverty. So we are going to see how we can bring different components whereby the economy of Gombe State will grow, so that everybody will feel sense of belonging. So it's not about socialism, party or democracy. It's about the people. It's about democracy. Everybody will feel is part of Gombe State government.
Okay, thank you. I want to say this to those listening, and I believe there are a lot of people who are either politicians or who would be involved in active politics in the future. When it comes to building a nation, sometimes politicians know this. Actually, a lot of these big politicians, they know this. Giving promises to people of free things is something that will encourage our politicians to avoid, especially in a place like Gombe. And this is general. I'm not just referring to NNPP. APC came into power in Nigeria based on things like this. Buhari promised free things, even money, distributing money to people. And today you can't even get your own money from the bank. Isn't that what people are facing right now? But Buhari promised that if he becomes president, was it 15,000 or I don't even remember, that he will be giving head of household money, he will be sharing money. And people believe it. I couldn't believe that people could believe that, and, giving food to schools, like primary school, distributing food. They tried that. It didn't work. When it comes to developing a nation, what is needed is what I said earlier. The work of government, after securing the people, security of life and property, the next thing the government should do is to provide an enabling environment for people to reach their highest potentials, whether in business, in education, in whatever they want to pursue. If you come to the Western world, like America, where I am now, their government, that's why you see a lot of Americans, they push against whatever government wants to do. In fact, even the money they distributed during COVID in the US, there are Americans that refuse to collect. They said it's not the work of government to give them money. I have friends that I know, I'm not talking about ASA. I have friends that I know who either refuse to collect the check that the government sent to them, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. They refuse, or they collected and they gave them over to some people who need them. And these are not rich people. These are ordinary Americans who believe that they shouldn't get free money from anyone. Any money they have, they should be earned. This is a place where they understand that the work of government is to secure them, number one, and to provide them with the ability to grow. And this is one of the reasons why when you say civilized society or developed world, this is what it is. And for many of you, what you mentioned about your candidates, some of them have studied here. So one of the things that bother us, those of us who are not into politics, is especially those politicians who come to the Western world, come to a place like America, like the UK, like Canada. They study, they see how things work. They go back and they do the same kind of politics of sharing formula, just giving things for free to people, which does not really work, because no country can move forward through that. So I want to encourage those of you who are into politics and those who hope to be into politics to consider that at the local level, either state government or those who are like in houses of assembly or national house or state houses, focus more on building people rather than giving things for free. Yes, you can have like a scholarship or something that can really also help, but ultimately your focus is on the social development of the people, not just giving free things to them. So that is very important. Let me finish up with the comments here. Jonathan Philip says, Comrade Ben, you have spoken well. Dambode is our choice. So he's agreeing with you. Janet Madison from Abuja says, to the APC candidate, what tangible project did the present governor did for the Billiri people in the last 4 years? He's not here to answer us. Actually, I would have asked him, I was had that question to ask him. Let me see. She has another. The National Assembly comprises of the House of Representatives and the Senate, while state are called State Assembly. Yeah, that's true. Maybe I made a mistake to confuse the two. And then you have David Bello. He says, I stand with Ben 10. MJ Birthday is the right candidate. So this is someone agreeing with you. Somebody Okay, let me accept our brother Amatiga here. Robin Ila says APC-led administration in Gombe State has done more harm to the people of Bilere than good, tempered with the long existing peace in our land. Nepotism is what they are known for from national to grassroots. So this is his opinion about the government. I hope that the people are listening, those who are in APC. The idea is we want you to hear how people feel about you, and it's important. You know, it's politics. You politicians are used to this, so there is nothing new here. Let me see. Good to hear about the need assessment if followed. Yeah. Let me see. Salem Adamu says APC government has done nothing to build the local government, if not Tangali people has to be wisely this time. Okay, he's also expressing the same kind of sentiment. Let me see. Again, General Madison said none of the representatives talk about security issue. I think Ben 10 mentioned that as part of the plan of Damberde. The people's security, yeah, we've seen that. Salem again says, Honorable Amatiga, we also need infrastructure development, not only education. In fact, we still have many graduates on ground now, no jobs. Yeah, very, very close to what I was saying, actually. Not just infrastructure. Infrastructure is good, but even in the Western world, is sometimes people think that development means building things. Physical project is good. Physical project is part of it. But you come to the Western world, it's more than a physical project. The physical projects are there, infrastructure are there, but the opportunities that the government provides for is key. Because when people strive, when people develop, you automatically develop. So we want to encourage that. So as we are going to an end, I would like us to talk about one thing, then we close. And that is the issue of our people in Gombe South. Yes, we have different political parties running. You know, they have different candidates running for different offices. That tends to divide us sometimes. But the truth is that at the end of the day, we are one people. At the end of the day, we in Gombe South, we are one people. We have a shared history, we have a shared identity. Whether we like it or not, we are one people. You look at our history, you look at our identity, we are one people. But sometimes politics has a way of dividing us. So despite the religious and the tribal differences we may have, but we still are one. So my question is, in light of the context of Gombe South, with the diversity in religion and tribes, what can we do as one people to see that we benefit from politics? Because politics is the thing. Politics controls our life. Every aspect of our life is controlled by politics, whether we like it or not, especially in Nigeria. The question is, what can we do so that we benefit from politics, regardless of our party differences? I will start with Amatiga, then I will go to Ben. Briefly, what can we do as a people? What is your theory about what we can do as one people in order to benefit from politics?
Yeah, to me, thank you so much, Pastor Amdeli. To me, I will tag it as a bipartisan approach in uniting ourselves for the future. A bipartisan approach in uniting ourselves for the future. A bipartisan approach meaning all political parties will come on board with a common interest. And the common interest is all about the development of Gombe South Senatorial District, that is Tangalewaja. So we will do that by the power of the people. And we can achieve that when we give the people what they want. For example, whatever the people want, the government has no excuse in denying them. And I want to quickly respond to the issue of my brother said critical infrastructure. My governorship candidate, Right Honorable Kamis Amin Melenteriki, promised critical infrastructure in my constituency and other part of Gombe State. My governorship candidate talks about human capital development, human investment. So coming to our unity in terms of different political parties, in my party, we have a slogan that says Gombe tafi jam'iyya or kokuma Tangale tafi jam'iyya or Tangalawa tafi jam'iyya. That is, Gombe South is more than a political party. So if we can come together, see the needs, see the interest, our common interest, so we could come together and defeat our common enemies. So I want to encourage people that are in NNPP. I want to encourage people that are in APC and PDP and Labour and other parties to come together for the sake of our values, norms, and tradition. To me, it is a shame an APC government did something in my land, Tangle land, which to me, Tangle people decided this is what they want, but the government denied them. Even though Tangle people are in courts, and we believe the court will do justice for Tangle land in terms of royal throne of Tangle. So these are the kind of things that it is high time we speak truth to power. I am contesting for House of Assembly, and I will be the mouthpiece, the ears, the eyes of my constituency. I will checkmate my governor. I will checkmate the executive arm of government that this is what my people want, and you must do it because I am representing the people. The problem we are having is we have so many cowards in different political parties because of their stomach. That is why things are not working the way we should expect. So I want to challenge everybody in PDP, in my party NNPP, APC, and other parties that anything that has to do with the development, anything that has to do with the peace, unity, and future of Tangalewaja, we must approach it in a bipartisan manner, not about political parties. But for me, in a partisan way, I would love all Gombe citizens and Tangalewaja to vote for my governorship candidate because I believe we have all it takes to represent our people. I will face my governor, I will tell him the problem of my people, and I believe I will checkmate him as a legislator. And before you know, we will create a new down in Gombe State. So to me, okay, the sky is our starting point. We can change the entire narratives. It's possible. Okay. So, but a situation whereby somebody is in PDP and somebody is in APC or NNPP, you see us fighting ourselves for what? Yeah. My desire is for Gombe South one day to produce a governor of Gombe State, which by virtue of NNPP we are taking over. My desire is Gombe South to produce the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My desire is for somebody from Gombe South to be the federal minister of Nigeria. So these are the kind of things we should push. Let's grow politically. Let's grow economically. Let's grow even spiritually. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to our brother Ben. The same question to you, please. What can it be beyond politics? You know, it's development of our land, of our people. Whether it is Biliri, where you come from, or Gombe South. What is your take on that, please? Ben, are you with us? We can't hear you.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Hello, hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Go on, please.
You can hear me. All right.
Yes.
I was saying before responding to your question, let me quickly say something about my response earlier concerning sitting down with the candidate. I'm not running away from my responsibility as one of us, a Tangali person. I do that. I engage them when I can. I have done that in the past and I will continue to do it. But I'm only saying that for it to carry weight, we need to do it as a community so that it is not just an individual. Let it not be seen as it's an individual that is just pushing something. So let it just be clarified so that somebody does not misunderstand me.
Thank you for doing
that. Yes. Again, I also want to say something because this is probably the last question, and you you were talking about the candidates and you mentioned in other countries, but I want to state clearly here that it is not all of them that have actually gone.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
It's not all of them that have actually gone out of this country. It's not all of them that have the level of education that you are thinking they do have. Like the sitting governor, this is a statement of fact. The first time he went to the US was when he became the governor of Gombe State. He never went to the US on his own, doing his business or whatever. He has been going to other places for his business. But to say he has gone to a Western world, do business, sit down or study, no. For the candidate of the NNPP, Amatiga just mentioned that he's doing his master's or postgraduate in Abuja. I'm sure the first degree was also either there or somewhere within the shores of this country. The only candidate that has the needed exposure in terms of education, in terms of traveling wide, in terms of interacting with the wider world is MJ Berde. You know, I mentioned to you for the sake of those who joined late, he holds an MSc in risk management from the UK, also holds an MBA from the UK, you know, and a postgraduate diploma in financial management from Harvard University, for that matter, you know. So none of them possesses the credential that this guy has. MJ Berde, when it comes to the issue of being equipped for leadership, he has what it takes. And they all mentioned the history of their candidates, what they have done. They only tell you about they were into business, they were holding this position. None of them was into any corporate body, working with people, controlling people under an organization, knowing how systems work so that he can replicate such experience when he becomes the governor. So I want to pause here and go to your question as to what we can do as a people to benefit from politics. You see, one thing that we need to do as a people to benefit from politics generally is to always sit down and study our environment, study the activities around us, and and position ourselves in a very, very strategic point. You see, I'll give you example with politics now before I go into other aspects of life. The reason why we don't usually benefit from politics is just the simple reason that this political party comes today advertising whatever they feel is their manifesto, telling you that this is what they want to do, introducing candidates. And before you know it, our people, because they feel they have gone to school, they think they understand how things should be done, they understand independence of choice. So they just follow somebody and say, do we all have to be in the same party? Do we all have to follow this person? Let me follow another one. The reason for following another candidate may not necessarily because they feel he is a better candidate, but just because they want to be different or because they want to have a feeling of something different. But let me tell you, it is dangerous politically. Reason being that today, let's say we have let me just give you an example. Let's say we have a voting strength of say 50,000 in Biliri local government. Then instead of about 40,000 votes going to the person that will eventually emerge as the governor of Gombe State, we'll end up dividing these votes into 3 or 4, where you now have the person that is going to win will just win maybe 15,000 out of the 50, then others share 10-10, or let's say 20, one person has 20, then others have 15-10, like that. This person that becomes the governor, by the time he's sharing whatever is coming to the people, one of the things he will consider is the percentage of votes that came to him. Forget the amount of votes. There may be other people that have a higher number of votes, but the percentage that goes to him, he would say, okay, at the end of the day, only 30% of the people voted for me from the local government. The other 70 went to different political parties. As such, you don't expect to be rewarded with somewhere like NAFADA, for instance, that always unite to do one thing. And at the end of the day, they will have like 80% of their votes going to one person. that will eventually emerge as the governor, his attention will go to them because he got 80% of the total votes from there. Forget the total number of votes that he's getting. Percentage matters in politics. So by the time we don't sit down to put these things into proper perspective so that we know this is what we are supposed to do as a people, this is how we are supposed to go about supporting candidates when it comes to politics, then we'll continue to suffer, we'll continue to be left behind, we'll continue to cry that things are not coming to us. And it is because we keep dividing our votes, we keep dividing our attention. One thing that our presidential candidate promised is the fact that he is going to give his ministerial appointment in every state to the zone that produces or gives him the highest number of votes. So let's say the 3 senatorial districts we have in Gombe State now. If today Gombe North gives him the highest number of votes, the minister goes to Gombe North. That is how he has designed his reward system. So you're coming to Gombe South now, we're crying that we have never had a minister, we have never had this, we've never had that. Then we are now dividing our votes into 3 different places or 4 different places. How do we expect to be rewarded with the position of the minister or whatever position that we are looking out for? If we continue to do this, that we call is education or whatever we call it, enlightenment, we will continue to lose out in politics. Politics is not rocket science. Politics is simple. You sit down, put 1, 2 together, do your analysis, and you'll get to understand how best to benefit from politics. That is in terms of politics. And then generally, in our normal lives, I think one of the ways we can benefit ourselves is to look at ourselves as one. Like if you come to Billiri local government now, somebody from Billiri East will be looking at those from Billiri West as people from Wokofi. Wokofi, for those who don't understand the language, it means people who are at the back, like you're behind. But behind does not mean behind in development, but I think it has to do with the settlement when
Geographical.
people, yeah, geographical. So yeah, they refer to you as those who are behind, and it is kind of derogatory somehow, because they don't use it in the right context of geography. They use it in the context of saying you are like behind, you are in the villages and all that. So all these kind of things have a way of bringing differences amongst us. When someone is doing something from Little West, you'll be looking at the person from East as these people don't even like us. Whatever comes, they keep it in Billiri. Whatever comes, they don't allow it to come to our place. So by the time we have this amongst ourselves, it even sends the wrong signal to anybody that is coming from outside that wants to help us or that want to cite something like an industry or whatever in our land. You see that people will be fighting. This one will say, bring it here. This one will say, take it to my land. Or they would say, we want to cite it here. And the people there would say, we are not ready to give our land for that purpose. So you see, these are little things that we need to correct. And one of the ways to correct them is to have leadership. I think we need to have leaders in Tangale land, people who are of age, people who are of good character, that can stand and decide for the people, this is what we need to do, and people will follow, knowing that they are going to lead them to the right direction. If not, if we just allow ourselves to be moving like that everybody decides for himself because you have education, because you have gone to school, because you have traveled and you are exposed, I think it's going to do more harm than good to us. So leadership is one, then good political arithmetic when it comes to deciding who we support during politics.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ben. Viewers, as we conclude, we have been talking about the Gombe State gubernatorial election. What is the best path for Gombe South? We've had the representatives of the APC, the NNPP, and the PDP talking about these issues and marketing their candidate for us, and of course their parties. Before I make my closing comments, I want to read some comments here, which actually a lot of them agree with what I want to say. Meshach Medoma said, "Can you smell and okay, anyway, is here endorsing or agreeing with our brother Ilah Matiga. Melanterki is the right man for the job. Concerning the promises he made, he said the good people of Gombe should record it, and if he didn't fulfill his promise that he made, they should vote him out in 2027. General Madison said it's not too late to discuss among yourself. Come together to win is very important. So she's agreeing with our brother Ben and Amatiga. Stop splitting the vote. And Meshak said, my brother Ben, just forget it. Gombe South have been voting PDP all, but what did it get? So this is speaking to you, Ben. We've been voting PDP. What did PDP do to us? That's the question. Abu Umar Tina said, Mr. Ben, I am in love with what you just said on the issue of how we normally used to divide our voting strength. We need to be united as a zone. And then lastly, there's one guy, Job Isa Joshua Life. He said, my boss is doing justice here. Proud of you always, Comrade Ben 10. So the issue is this. As we conclude, the issue is this.
Are we going to have a closing 30 seconds?
Do you really want to say something? I was gonna actually close. If you need to say something, say it now.
Yes. So I want to.
Go ahead.
I want to call 30 out.
30 seconds. Yes.
Yeah,
please.
I want to call out. I want to make this loud call with a very loud voice to the people of Gombe South that we should be very careful. We should be analytical in deciding what we are doing. It is common knowledge that we are fed up with the present government. Most of us in Gombe South, we agree to that. But in moving towards changing this government, we should not go about splitting the votes. We should not go about helping this person that we don't want to come back. Like I have always said, if we divide our votes, we're making it easier for the present administration to come back. So please and please, forget whatever stories, forget the monies that Melantariki is giving to people. Most of the people that are moving to NNPP are collecting money. I was offered money to come back to NNPP, but because I have principles, I refuse to go back there. So it is not about what monies they are giving. It is about what you want for your people. It is about what is good for our people. So please and please, let's bring our votes together for PDP candidate who is the best candidate amongst all the candidates running for governorship in Gombe State. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ben. Mr. Amatiga.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to quickly say, yes, I want to quickly say that we only need 280 votes to emerge as Gombe State governor. There is nothing like splitting votes because Kamisu Ahmed Merenteriki is the right man for the job. So the issue of international knowledge, my governorship candidate took the youth of Nigeria, which illiterate youth are among, they went to Denmark and emerged as the winner of the World Youth Championship. So Melenteriki is a guy that has international spread and relations in terms of governance, in terms of relationships. So by the grace of God, we are going to replicate that in our new government. The issue of splitting board does not arise. To me, PDP candidates and APC candidates, by the special grace of God, we are going to defeat them, and the Gombe citizens will feel the dividends of democracy. So please, Benjamin Ngoma, tell your candidate, don't say, we're not going to split candidate, we're not going to split as in vote. But the people of Gombe State know who has the capacity, the competency to rule Gombe State as governor, whether APC, PDP, or NNPP. But the right man for the job is Kamisu Ahmed Melenteriki, and we are soliciting for the entire vote of Gombe South, Gombe Central, and Gombe North to vote NNPP so that justice and welfare will be our focal and focus point. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. My last word, I have two things. I will be very fast here. Number one, from our discussions and the comments that we have here, it appears that I'm not making a judgment on our discussion, but it appears that the people feel disappointed by the present government. I actually wish that the representative of the APC was here. He's not able to reconnect. He was here at the beginning. And I wish he was here to answer some of these questions. And I also had questions for him. Our people in Gombe South generally feel disappointed and also betrayed by the government of the day, especially in terms of projects. We feel excluded and marginalized. And also with regards to the issue of Maitangle, I actually wanted to raise this issue to the representative of the APC candidates, because it's a big issue for us. It's something that touches our mind. It's something that is very emotional to every Tangale son. And when I say Tangale, I mean Tangale in Biliri, in Kaltungo, and in Shongom. I've spoke with people. People are concerned about this. So that one thing, that one act of tampering with our throne is just something that mess everything off for him. I think it's very important for us to continue to reiterate that. The governor should know that. So that really make him make us unfavorably disposed towards him. So it's important for him to know that. Now, on the issue of moving forward as a people, from everything our participants have said, one thing that comes to mind for me, what things that keeps recurring, coming back, is the fact that there is a very clear lack of leadership in our region. There is a lack of leadership in our region. There is a lack of leadership in our individual local government and individual tribes. There is no unity of purpose and people who are leading the way. We need to have a common front. All these things we are saying, they are good. But who are the people? Where are the community leaders that will sit down and say, hey, let's bring all the stakeholders, all the relevant people, let's talk. What do we really want as a people in Gombe South? What do we really want as a people in the individual local government, Balanga, Kaltungo, Shongom, and Billiri? What do we want? And then we will now say every candidate who wants to win election should come to us. We'll have a meeting. This is what you want. Number one, what do you have to offer? Number two, this thing that we want, would you promise to provide? Would you agree to this? And we'll hold accountable when you are in office. We can even have you sign a paper or something like that. Whatever it takes to make them do something. But we need to be able to do that. We need leadership, community leaders who will come up and do that. So I think the concern is, do we have community leaders in Gombe South? People that everyone listens to. Do we have community leaders in Billiri, in Shongom, in Kaltungo, in Balanga, that when they call people, people will come? When they talk, people will say, yes, what they're saying is true. They are unbiased. They are not concerned about political party or personal interest. What they want is the progress of the land. Those kind of leaders, I think, is what we are liking. And I think we should focus on developing those kind of leaders. I don't know if we have them on ground. Maybe they are afraid to do that or whatever the reason why they're not doing that. But I think for the future, we need to start doing something about developing leaders who can speak on our behalf, people that we all respect. That is something that is lacking. Everything we are saying is good, but if you don't have leaders who will push that, then nothing will happen. That is my commentary on all these issues we are talking about. So we want to stop here. I really want to thank our participants, the representatives of the APC, the NNPP, and the PDP. I always mention them in terms of in alphabetical order. That is what I do. So I want to thank them. Mr. Usman Umar Kaltungo was here. We lost him representing the APC, and our brother Amatiga Ila representing the NNPP is here. He has been here throughout the discussion, and our brother Benjamin Dongoma representing the PDP has been here. They're all presenting their candidates for us, and we've all listened to them. We've all heard what they said about their candidate and what the candidates have to offer. It is left for us, the people of Gombe South, the people of all these different local governments, to decide whom we want to actually be in the government house in Gombe. Somebody who will represent our interests, somebody who will listen to us, somebody who will not temper with our institutions, with our customs and traditions, someone who will bring development to our land, someone who will do things that will bring progress to our region and also so it is our prayer that our people will think wisely and vote wisely, so that we will have the right person sitting in house that will work with us. I want to thank the technical team. They work very, very hard. Thanks to our brother, Pastor John Shaibu, the Ministry Director for CLTM, and the IT Manager of the Ministry in the office, Elkanah Bayero, and our Director, Sebastian Timothy, for allowing us to use the devices in the office. Thank you, CLTM, for making this happen. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you for your comments. Continue to raise your question and comment. I will try to come and look at them. I will respond to some of them, but not everything needs response. So thank you so much. I really appreciate the time today. Next week, we'll continue with another episode of Ewe Midweek Panados. And I pray that God will continue to move our region forward, move Gombe State forward, and move Nigeria forward. You all have a nice day. Our guests, you can stay behind as I go offline. Thank you so much, everyone.